Welcome back. We're continuing our reading through the Gospel of Mark. We have a very short pericope this time. It is the account of Jesus being tempted by Satan in the wilderness. And in Mark's version, it is only 2 short verses. So let's take a look. Mark 1, verse 12. Kai is and Huthus is immediately, and Mark keeps doing this. He uses this language of something happening immediately to convey a sense that the action is constantly moving forward. So he's just been baptized and immediately. Toponuma is the Spirit. This is either nominative, neuter, singular, or accusative, neuter, singular. So pneuma can be either of those two, which means it can be functioning as either the subject if it's nominative or the object if it's accusative of the main verb. Well, the main verb is ekbale, and it means he was led out, driven out. It's quite a strong word. It's present, active, indicative, third person singular, and you can see that from the ending a. This a ending is present active indicative 3 singular form, common to many of those forms. So literally it means and he is driven out. He is being driven out. It's what we refer to as a historical present, meaning it's a present tense, but it's being used to narrate a past action. Mark also likes this style because it gives you a sense that you are living through that experience with Jesus, or if you wish that it's as if you're there with him as the experience is unfolding. So immediately the Spirit drives him out. So here it's nominative because toponuma is the subject and auton, him, is the direct object. So the Spirit drives him out, eis, into, ten eremon, the desert or the wilderness. Notice the article is accusative feminine, so it's a feminine form. Why? Because although eremon might look like it's got to be masculine or perhaps neuter, it's actually a feminine adjective. So let's put the pieces together. Ethos, immediately, toponuma auton ekbali, the Spirit drives him out. Eistein eremon, into the wilderness. Verse 13, so Jesus has been driven into the wilderness by the Spirit, and here we are going to find 3 distinct clauses. There's the one, and there's the second clause division. Each new clause starts with kai or and so we've got 3 statements being made. Kai ein, and ein, he, she, or it was. In this case, it's Jesus, so he was. And now we have 3 things being attributed to Jesus. Number 1, ente eremo. Number 2, tesarakonta hemeras. And number 3, peradzomenos hypotusatana. Let's take those 3 one by one. Kai ein, and he was, ente eremo. In means in, and it requires a dative. You can see the subscript marking these 2 datives. Eremos means desert or wilderness. So, and he was ente eremo, in the wilderness. The Spirit drives him into the wilderness, and now we're told, and he was in the wilderness. Then we have hemeras, which is accusative, plural. So this is accusative, feminine, plural. This alpha sigma ending can be genitive, feminine, singular, or accusative, feminine, plural. And here it's accusative, feminine, plural, means days. Tesara conta means 40 days. When it's referring to time, the accusative case tends to represent a duration of time. And that's what's going on here. So, kai ente eremo, and he was in the wilderness, tesarakonta hemeras, for 40 days. The period of time is there. Peradzomenos. Remember that men are passive participles. So the moment you see this men, it's a middle or passive participle we're looking at, from pirazzo, meaning to tempt or test. Tempt or test. So he was in the wilderness for 40 days, perazzomenos, being tempted. The nominative singular form here means that it's modifying the subject, and the subject of the verb ein is he. So he was in the wilderness 40 days, being tempted, perazzomenos, hypotu satana, by Satan. Greek often uses the definite article with a personal name, and satana is indeclinable in Greek. It's a loan word. It's been borrowed into the Greek language. So our first statement, kai ente, man, I'm botching that. Kai ein, and he was, ente eremo, in the wilderness, te sarakonta hemeras, for 40 days, perazzomenos hypotu satana, being tempted by Satan. And kai ein, he was, metaton therion. Therios is from therion, actually. It's neuter, genitive, singular, plural. Neuter genitive plural. The on ending is your massive diagnostic for a genitive plural, and it means wild animals or wild beasts. So he was with metaton therion. He was with the wild animals. Mark is the only gospel that mentions metaton therion, with the wild animals, and there's an interesting reason that he may have done that. Mark's gospel is written to Christians in the city of Rome, Christians who are being violently persecuted by Nero, and some of them have literally been thrown to the wild animals. And so many commentators believe that Mark includes this detail that he was with the wild animals to offer the believers who are suffering at the hands of animals the assurance that Jesus has in fact been tempted in every way just as they are, that he has been there and done that. And then lastly, kai hoi angeloi. Angeloi is nominative masculine plural from angelos, meaning angels. So it's nominative, therefore it's the subject of the next verb, and he was diakonoun. This means, not he was, the angels, and then dia, the A is actually the augment here. When you have a preposition in compound, dia, combined with a verb form, the augment goes in between the preposition and the main root of the verb. And here it means serving, from diakoneo, meaning to serve. This un ending is imperfect. So it's imperfect, active, indicative, and it's the third plural form. The normal ending is on, and the verb here ends in an epsilon, and when epsilon and omicron contract, they contract to u, so you get un. So the angels were serving. An imperfect tense verb portrays an action that's in process in the past time. So it's ongoing. And the picture is that the angels are in some way attending to Jesus for an ongoing period, presumably the duration of his 40 days of temptation in the wilderness. Auto, you can see it's dative, and it's actually the direct object of diakonoun. Some verbs take their direct object in the dative case. Let's put the whole verse together. Kai ein ente eremo, and he was in the wilderness, te sarakonta hemeras, for 40 days, perazzomenos hypotu satana, being tempted by Satan. Kai ein metaton therion, and he was with the wild animals. Kai hoi angeloi diakonoun auto, and the angels were ministering to or serving auto him.